All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Hannah Swears. I'm a senior program manager with Enactus United States. And today we're just going to very quickly overview one of our new initiatives here for Enactus US, the Standard Chartered Futuremakers project. It is a competition that we will be running throughout the spring semester. And so we'll just go over that program really quickly and then give you a chance to review or ask questions and talk about some projects and get some direction so that we can go ahead and get started on this program. So the Futuremakers program, sponsored by Standard Chartered, it's been running throughout this year, so you might have heard the name get thrown around a couple of times, but pretty much, hold on, I'm going to change my view. But pretty much this is an overview of the objectives. I'm going to start very high level, what we aim to accomplish with this program. So Futuremakers really seeks to tackle inequality and economic inclusion for young people across its markets. Disadvantaged young people is the language that they use. So we are specifically looking to create projects and programs that help lift these people up and create employability skills and increase their access to employment and knowledge surrounding those sorts of topics. So it's specifically addressing Sustainable Development Goals 4 and 8, quality education and decent work and economic growth. I know from my experience working with teams that these are some very popular sustainable development goals. So you might already have projects that exist that address these goals, and those would be a great place to start as a background basis for creating your Futuremakers program. To kind of break it down a little bit more, we are looking at increasing education, employability, and improving entrepreneurship skills as well. So broader goals, what are we trying to accomplish when we break everything down? We want Enactus teams to be able to train young people. That is intentionally broad. It encompasses a lot of different groups, high school students, college students, young adults, and increase access to employability skills and entrepreneurship, support those young entrepreneurs into starting or restarting their own projects or operations, and then also track the progress and the impact that you've had on these people's lives through your projects that you create. And so we'll help you each step of the way into building into that ultimate goal of addressing employability and entrepreneurship. But the project is probably what you are most interested in learning about. What exactly is it that you're going to be doing? So Futuremakers is essentially a project that is looking at training the trainers. So you as the Enactus team are the trainers, and we are here at Enactus US to provide resources and help you create community programs that will train disadvantaged young people in employability skills. This might be resume writing, interview skills, self-management, professionalism, exploring job opportunities. What are your rights and opportunities at work? Anything that falls under that umbrella of employability, knowledge, and skills is something that you could then train your community or your chosen demographic in as a Futuremakers project. We do encourage you to use the projects that you already have as a basis or even as a continuation for Futuremakers. So if you already have a resume writing skill, like a resume writing workshop that you use on campus as part of your Enactus team's work, that is a great starting point to build an even larger project for Futuremakers and to increase your impact. And your regional program managers are here. Our job is to help provide training, coaching, resources to develop a project that really works with the skills that your Enactus teams, your Enactus students already have to build a more successful project. So I really encourage you, if you have kind of an idea, but you don't know how to formulate it into a plan, to reach out to your regional program manager and ask for some assistance. So I mentioned earlier that one of the goals is to track impact and to have a better impact idea of what the impact your project is. Cannot speak today. So one of the requirements for this program, as we're building towards that ultimate competition that's happening later in the spring, is to be reporting on the beneficiaries that you've trained. So we'll have a very simple monthly report that you go in every single month and just enter the numbers. How many people have you trained? How many people have reported that they are now employment ready as a result of your trainings? How many have improved their employment related knowledge, have entered into employment, and things like that. So we can, again, help you with those numbers and making sure that you're tracking data throughout the course of the program. I don't know why there's notes on there, I'm sorry. So we will definitely help you as you report that data, so it's not coming from nowhere. And hopefully when you get to the point of competition, you'll have all that data ready to present and it'll be an easier process for you. So like I mentioned earlier, we are doing a training the trainers model for this program. So as such, we have created a curriculum that you can use as a resource to then train your beneficiaries. This is not required. This is just here so that you do not have to build something from the ground up. You can use our resources that we've created to then host workshops or trainings for your beneficiaries. Or you can use this as kind of a guide and an idea of how you would like to proceed with training them. These are available as PDFs, so you're not going to have to log on anywhere to access them. Hopefully that reduces any tech issues that might come up. And so once we send out the syllabus, we'll have the link directly to these resources for you to review, and then you can decide how you would like to use them, if you'd like to use them at all. And of course, bringing it back as you're developing projects, I think it's always important to think about the judging criterion. This is kind of speaking to the work we do at Enactus for everything. And so if you're not familiar with this, you haven't seen it before, every Enactus project that you create should really be seeking to answer this question. Which Enactus team most effectively demonstrated entrepreneurial leadership to drive business and innovation for sustainable, positive impact to benefit people, planet, and prosperity within the last year? That should be the question when you develop a project. You start there. What is sustainable, positive impact? What is entrepreneurial leadership? And how can you incorporate those ideas into your project? This, again, has been sent out in all of our trainings. It'll again be sent out so that you'll have this slide to refer back to, but I think this is a great starting point if you're not familiar with this yet. But the big question that I'm sure you're all here for is the impact competition. That is going to be running in March 2023. So this is a shorter term project. We're not looking for you to have created a multi-year project quite yet. So if you are starting from ground zero, you don't have any idea yet where to start, that is perfectly okay. The competing teams are going to be judged on defining a need, pursuing entrepreneurial leadership, really speaking back to that project criterion as well. So if this is an early stage project, if you have not had a chance to really implement it and see it expand by the time March comes around, that's perfectly okay. We're asking teams to submit a video presentation, so you will be competing virtually to start, and then a team of judges will rate your project, and we'll share that rubric with you once we launch in January 2023. And the exciting thing that I wanted to announce to all of you today is that teams can win up to $10,000, and we'll have lots of winners, and we'll break down what those guides are and how many winners there will be, what those prize levels will be. But I can confirm teams will be winning up to $10,000 for competing in the Futuremakers Impact Competition in March. So what are next steps? If what I said really spoke to you today and you're really excited to get started and motivated, we're going to be sending out an interest form to officially sign your teams up to participate in Futuremakers. Now, this is just signing up to participate in starting a project with Futuremakers. You will also have to register for the competition as well. And the reason for that is we actually offer some funding to help start your projects. and then again to help scale your projects through competition as well. So if you are an existing team, you've already started, you will receive $500 in seed funding to get your project up off the ground for Futuremakers. And then once you're registered for competition, you will receive an additional $500 to help scale your project. And that is everybody who competes, everybody who participates. It doesn't matter where you place in the competition. And so once we get all of those names, we'll start that process of getting that seed funding out to everybody to help get you started. And this seed funding is in addition to any prize amount that you would win through competition. So it's a really great chance to grow your impact as an Enactus team, specifically if you're really interested in Sustainable Development Goals 4 and 8. I mentioned that we're launching in January, so the projects will be launched January 24th, 2023. That's where we're going to get into more detail about the rubric, what your project will be judged on, how do you measure impact data, what all of that is going to look like. So mark your calendars for January 24th, 2023. We will blast this across social media, so hopefully you do not forget that date. Same time, 2 p.m. Central, and we're very excited to get started. So I am going to open it up to questions because I said a lot of information, and I'm sure everybody has lots of questions.
Hey, Hannah, I have a question for a point of clarification. So when you say a new team, are you talking about a new team that's signing up for Enactus, or are you talking about a new team signing up for the Futuremakers program?
So that is a new Enactus team. That is a team that has not previously had an Enactus program. They're starting the team from scratch, recruiting new students, going through new team orientation and all of that. If you are a current Enactus team that is new to Futuremakers, you would receive that $500. All right, are there any other questions? I didn't have a chance to look at the chat while I was talking. All right.
I think this is a tremendous program. A lot of the teams are struggling, not only starting new teams, but getting restarted as a team after COVID. And this is something that is much needed and we can all do. And those of us, especially in urban communities, see the need every day around us. There's something we can do to help out and to help kids become employable and find jobs. It's just a tremendous thing to do. So thank you for organizing it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think this is a really great project if your team is just getting started or if you have a lot of new students. We do provide a lot of the resources to help you plug into this project and then apply your own creativity and innovation in developing what the program can be. So I saw another question in the chat that the interest form is going to be sent out by the end of the week. There is no deadline. You can enroll on whenever you would like if you need more time to talk to your team about starting the program. The project is launching January 24th, so I guess that would be the unofficial deadline. If your team launches after that, that is absolutely okay. They would just lose a little bit of time to measure impact data, which might come back around during competition. But we will get that interest form sent out to everybody, the entire network, by the end of the week.
Hannah, we have another question in the chat. It says, our team recently traveled across rural Uganda hosting workshops. Can we count these?
So Standard Chartered is looking specifically at impact and beneficiaries within the US. However, I would encourage you to look at the projects that you do have overseas that are international and see if you can incorporate some of the programming, some of the project design that you have for those projects, and see if you can incorporate it in your own community or in a US-based project. But good question, Nathan, thank you. All right. Well, we are here as your program managers to answer any questions. It was a lot of information, so I will send everybody out the presentation as well as a syllabus that goes into a little bit more detail about the program and what your projects could look like to hopefully add a little bit more context. I think this is a great and exciting opportunity to build new projects, to expand on existing projects, And if you have any questions, concerns, need more information or help signing up, I encourage you to reach out to Britt or Sierra. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day.